Let's solve exercise 2. Letter A. What are the explanatory and the response variables in this study? The explanatory is the presence of goats and the response the count of silver sword plants. Letter B. Is this an observational study or a well-designed experiment? If the latter, what are the main devices that make it a well-designed experiment? This is certainly an experiment because researchers are manipulating reality by setting up the stations and fencing some areas in order to prevent the goats from entering. We can say that it is well designed. We have a control group, the area without the fence. Remember, the control group is the group that receives nothing or the placebo. We also have a treatment group, the area receiving the fence. Indeed, we have many of each. Here it says at each station 2 plots were selected, one with the fence and one without. So there are many pairs fenced, not fenced. In this way, we can compare the results in one station with the results in the others to see if they agree. We have also direct control. We'll speak about this in the next question. And do we have random assignment? It is not said explicitly, but I think we can imply that yes. What I understand from here is that in each station they divided the land in 2 pieces, one that they fenced and the other that they didn't. How did they pick the part to be fenced? I am assuming that they picked it randomly. Notice that here there cannot be placebo effect because we are not working with humans and treatments, so the ideas about using a placebo or blinding don't apply. Letter C. What are the main confounding variables considered in the study? How did the researchers control for them? This is a nice question. I answer it with the help of this table. The confounding variables that the students see easily are soil condition and climate. How did the researchers control for them? Selecting plots of land with similar soil condition and climate. This is direct control. Another obvious one is plant count. In each station, we want to begin with the same amount of plants in the fenced area as in the non-fenced area. Researchers made sure that the counts were similar or the same. And there is at least another confounding variable that researchers controlled for directly. It is not explicitly written, but I think we could call it human action and other disruptions. Look at this. The researchers selected remote areas. This is not casual. By selecting remote areas, the researchers are controlling for this variable. Another question classical in these exercises is mentioning the limitations of the study. The main limitation that I would point here is that by installing the fence, we are not just preventing the entrance of goats, we are also preventing the entrance of many other animals. If in some months the plots without the fence have fewer silver swords, we can imply that some of those animals are responsible for the decline, but not necessarily the goats. On the other hand, I agree that the goats are the main suspects because they are the extraneous animals. Exercise 3. This is the most notable one. Here is the scenario. There is a laser procedure that has been used for a while to heal or relieve patients with angina, severe chest pain. It consists on drilling small holes in the chest and heart. We have 50 patients with similar degree of angina. We conduct a randomized experiment to see if the laser treatment is really good. We randomly select 25 of those patients and we administer them the laser treatment. These patients experience a remarkable and lasting reduction in pain after the treatment. To the contrary, the other 25 patients stay in severe pain. Letter A. Does this prove that the drilling of the holes decreases chest pain? Why? Notice that here we have a control group, a treatment group, and random assignment. This is clearly an experiment. So many students answer yes, this experiment proves that the laser procedure decreases the level of pain. Very interestingly, the answer is no. It is true that the whole experience of going through the laser treatment decreases the level of pain, but we cannot put the credit in the laser itself or in the holes in the heart themselves unless we isolate them. And how do we isolate them? By administering a placebo to the control group, which was not done in this experiment. This experiment is not well designed because we did not control for the placebo effect. All this answers also question B. Let's read the last part. At the Lenox Hill Hospital in New York City, a new experiment is conducted. In this occasion, it includes random assignment, a placebo, and is blinded. Patients are randomly assigned to the treatment group or the control group, but all of them think that they are receiving the laser procedure. The doctors made them all believe that they were receiving the laser. The patients receiving the laser treatment experienced a good deal of relief, but the patients not receiving the laser treatment experienced more relief. According to this new study, what conclusion can we get about the use of the laser in patients? First, the use of the laser is beneficial, as some people thought looking at the previous study. Second, the use of the laser is useless. Third, the use of the laser is harmful. This is worse than useless. What I like about this question is that I usually hear the three answers in equal proportions, so it seems that this is not easy to grasp. Some people say the laser is beneficial because those who are suffering receive the laser and stop suffering. I agree that reducing the patient's suffering is good, but some people object that the laser is useless because those who received the placebo, no laser, also did well. And some people answer that the laser is detrimental because those who received the placebo did better. From the scientific point of view, the third answer is the right one. The laser itself and the drilling of the holes must be considered detrimental. I will try to explain this with a metaphor and with a bit of algebra. Imagine that someone gives you a treatment that consists on a punch in your face and a motivational speech. Maybe after this treatment you feel better, but the question is, would you feel even better without the punch in the face, just with the motivational speech? If so, the punch in the face is detrimental. A placebo gives you just the motivational speech, so we can compare. Now the algebraic approach. Look at this table. Here we have the treatment, the pain before, the pain after, the amount of relief or benefit, and the components of the treatment. What is clear is that the laser treatment includes the laser itself and the drilling of the holes, plus the ceremony or the theater as I call it, all the ritual of the doctors attending you and listening to you, etc. The placebo gives only the ceremony. Let's put numbers to the pain before and after. All the patients had severe angina, so let's say that their level of pain was 95. Those who received the laser felt better. Let's say that the level of pain was 80 after the laser. But those who received the placebo felt even better. Let's say that their level of pain was 70. So what's the benefit or relief of the laser treatment? 15. And what's the benefit or relief of the placebo? 25. Notice that here we have a system of two equations with two unknowns. So what's the benefit of the laser in itself? You can solve this question by solving this system of equations, which should be so easy. If you do it, you will see that the benefit of the component laser holes is -10. A negative benefit is a damage. The laser in itself is harmful. Remember that if you have one equation with two unknowns, you cannot find the values of any unknown. If you have two unknowns, you need at least two equations. The function of the placebo, from an algebraic perspective, is that it gives you the second equation so you can solve the system for the ceremony and for the key component you want to test. This exercise shows that the medical authorities were administering a harmful treatment for over a decade because they thought it was good, because they just compared before with after. But all the improvement after the treatment came from the placebo effect. They learned that by conducting a placebo-blinded experiment. The important conclusion is that you always want a clinical trial to be done with a placebo and at least blinded. If double-blinded, even better.